my boys. Are you okay?
I'm so excited for today.
So we have done a Portuguese food tour, a Portuguese seafood tour, and a bunch of other food tours. And now we figured, why don't we do a food tour in Denmark? And since all the other videos on food in Denmark isn't what we consider to be the authentic Danish food, we thought that would be the perfect opportunity for us to show you guys how the actual Danish food looks like.
We're starting out at a true authentic Danish bakery.
When I grew up, this was the ultimate Sunday breakfast. But there are some few differences for me and Jon, because I grew up in Copenhagen and Jon grew up in Jutland. So we don't call all these delicious stuff the same thing. I call this romkugle.
It's a truffle.
It's not a truffle.
It's a truffle. It's a truffle.
No.
Det er ligesom det her. Det her, det er en københavner, Birgit.
Det er te-birkes. Det er te-birkes.
Det er en københavner.
Du må undskylde, han er fra Jylland. Han er ikke så uddannet.
Jeg tror, vi skal sende ham tilbage.
Show me your teeth.
When you're done eating this, you need to run a trip with the vacuum cleaner.
Ej, hvor er det smukt. Er det med marcipan på?
Ja.
Er det en gave til os?
Det er en gave til jer. I er så søde at høre på.
Ej, hvor er du.
Tak.
Det er altså ikke sponsoreret, det her.
Something that I really like and something that has always been a treat to me on a bad day, I would always stop by the chocolate store and get myself a flødebolle. So it's made out of marzipan, which is a blended almond dough, and then it has sugar and egg white inside that's super foamy, and then it's covered with chocolate. Oh my god.
These are very beneficial in terms of wrinkles, because when you do like this, you always have to wash down your bakery goods with Mathilde cacao milk. I've had this since I was 3 years old. It hasn't changed. It's the same. The interesting thing about a truffle is that it's made out of leftovers. So when they don't sell all these, they use it for the truffle. It might not sound as appealing that it's just leftovers, but I mean, I've had this my entire life and it just tastes so fucking
It's
good.
so good. To me, this is actually a little piece of Danish culture. Something that I'm afraid that is disappearing slowly in Denmark because people are not very good at embracing the traditions and culture, not the new generation at least. This is like a custard here, and then you have the pastry dough, and then you have this, we call it glasur. What do you call it? It's like a sugar.
It's a true taste. I mean, just like as if this was 1996 and Dad just came back from the baker. This is what all tourists should do when they come visit Copenhagen and Denmark. I really mean that.
We paid 68 Danish kroners for this, and for Danish standards, that is very, very good.
Start raining. Day is getting better and better. Right behind me is one of the most charming buildings in Copenhagen, possibly an old train station actually, that was divided up in two and moved to here. It used to be a few hundred meters down there, but now it's a restaurant. It's called Restaurant Frihavn. A place that just opened, but a place we have already tested. Amazing smørrebrød, and that's something we're gonna have now, because smørrebrød is the most Danish thing in Denmark.
Some people call it smørrebrød, other people call it open-faced sandwiches. But I think we should just call it smørrebrød because that's the name of it.
Before you start your smørrebrøds adventure, you have to have an ice cold pilsner. And look how beautiful this is. Jeg har hørt rygter om, at man får serveret 2 gange snaps her som sådan en lille gave.
Det kunne jeg også godt forestille mig.
Kunne du det?
Ja, det kunne jeg. Siden I nu er her, så synes jeg også, at I skal smage en af vores egne snapse, og en af vores egne akvavitter, som er her fra Frihavn. Og det er den, vi har lavet med gran. For 10 år siden, eller 20 år siden, der var der kun Tuborg eller Hof. Og så nu er der kommet en masse mikrobryggerier, og der er hvedeøl, og der er alle mulige smagsnoter tilsat. Det samme er ved at ske også her på akvavitfronten, og det passer perfekt til dansk smørrebrød.
Yeah.
The scene is set, and I'm gonna start out with the snaps. It's very elegant, and like this place here, they know what they're doing, because I've never been a fan of snaps because it's so strong and it's like licking the floor at a butcher. It tastes really good, and even better once you combine it with smørrebrød, because snaps and smørrebrød are best friends.
This is probably the most famous Danish smørrebrød because it's the sillemad. And it's super salty, slightly spicy, with some nice balanced apples that actually makes it a little bit more sweet.
It kind of looks like a banana, like fried banana.
Oh, yeah.
But it's not. This is a rødspætte smørrebrød topped with some tomatoes, and it's so hard to translate the Danish ingredients into English. So the fish here is not on rye bread, but on white bread, and that's normal for en rødspætte.
Can you taste the butter? So after the fish, you enjoy your meat.
And
What are we having?
it's roast beef.
Roast beef we usually make where we boil it and then we cool it down and then we slice it very, very thinly into pålæg. This one comes with a mayo made out of some sennep, and it comes with fried onions and some pickled onions, and then again herbs, because you need herbs to make your smørrebrød look really, really beautiful.
This is what I would describe as a tall smørrebrød.
Yeah,
Højt belagt.
belagt smørrebrød.
Smørrebrød in many ways can be something as simple as just a piece of rye bread with some pate on. What's interesting about højt belagt smørrebrød is that you have so many different things on it that there are a lot of different contrasts and a lot of different tastes. Yeah. The trick is to make it all work together.
We are at a pølsevogn, which is a stand with sausages. I'm having the classical version because this is what you give to kids. And this is when you are an adult, you'll get the real deal. Every time I went with my grandfather to Copenhagen, we would stop at a pølsevogn and we would have a French hot dog and a warm cocktail.
It's not a gastronomic revelation, but it's good. The sausage stands, or the pølseboder, is another symptom of what Denmark used to be, because today there's only 50 left of these around the country. But if you go back not that long ago, you would have more than 500.
A cocktail is probably the best chocolate milk in the world. There is nothing like this, and I think all Danes agree that this is a little symbol that we can be very, very proud of here in Denmark, because it just tastes so amazing. But there is one pity with a cocktail, because somehow when you take the first sip, it just disappears. So a lot of Danes are very certain that there is this magical trick where Kokyo actually cheats us customers and don't fill it up to the edge, or that the button is too thick or whatever. But honestly, I just think it's because it tastes so freaking amazing.
So, I know we say that Copenhagen is very expensive, and it is expensive, but it is possible to go out and drink your mind out without, you know, wasting your entire bankroll, because we have these brown pubs, as we call them, where you can get a bottle of Tuborg for €2.50, and this place is one of them, and it's so smoky in there because you can smoke in there, and it's so Danish, like it doesn't get more Danish than that.
We are having a very Danish dessert right now. This is what we in Denmark called gammeldags æblekage, and it's quite weird because it has nothing to do with a cake. But the thing is that there are like some bread crumbs in it that might make it feel like a cake.
When it comes to sweets and desserts, Denmark is not the front goer. We don't have a big dessert culture really. When you go to the bakeries, that's where you have most of the desserts.
Somewhere in the back of my mind, you were there.
Danish dinner. We are gonna have stegt flæsk med persillesauce and
Pariserbøf, which means a Parisian beef steak. And this is another snaps from it's Linje Aquavit. It's a very classic Danish snaps.
This will be directly from the fridge out on the table, and then you can enjoy it.
Freezing cold.
Yeah.
But again, I made it. This is not something you are a die-hard fan of.
No, I'm not.
But you're gonna drink it for the vlog. Ah, it's so beautiful.
Se, det ser sgu godt ud, det her.
Velbekomme.
Tak skal du have.
This is Danish food at its best.
It's even served as my grandmother would serve it. This is stegt flæsk. This is the national dish of Denmark. What it basically is that it is fried pork, pan-fried pork. It is super messy to make. That's why a lot of people don't make it at home anymore. Usually people would go out on a restaurant.
It can be quite difficult to find this. You really have to know where to go.
Also because it's an art to make it perfect balance. Yeah. So what you want it to be greasy, but crunchy, and also you want the meat to be tender. But it's not only the pork that you have served in this dish. The pork is just the main element. You do have to have potatoes.
Danish potatoes.
The senap is a big part of it as well. And the beets, which is pickled beets.
Beetroots.
Beetroots. Beets.
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 Beets by Dre.
You're having something you like more, don't you?
So yeah, this is one of the things I had a lot of when I was when I lived in Denmark, and especially growing up. Pariserbøf. This is a bit more fancy because it wasn't my father who made it. Sorry, father. Usually the egg yolk has to be tastefully smashed on top. Didn't succeed, but yeah, I forgot how good Danish food is. The last decades, the spotlight has been on the modern cuisine. Noma, geranium, Danish cuisine is the best in the world when it comes to fine dining. Today we showed that we can do both. We're pretty epic here in Denmark.
Go to the description actually and look up the restaurants and see if there's anything for you.
Yeah.
Thank you for watching, guys. At the local.
Artilego.
Ciao, ciao.
For i min lille have, der skulle alting gerne stå.